Race mode in the Giulia is so much fun. Watch this. Watch the revs when I stab the gas. So much fun. It takes off like crazy. The acceleration is insane. I think it drops like 3 gears at once. When you unlock race mode in the car, you get all of that, plus traction control and stability control is disabled, so you can really power out of corners in the track and just have an awesome time. Hey, what's up everybody? Thanks for tuning back in. In today's video, we're gonna go over race mode. So I've been asked a lot repeatedly, across social media about race mode and the non-quadrifoglio Giulias. Race mode is a feature that comes stock in every Giulia. It comes stock in the ECU and in the transmission. However, the quadrifolios are the only ones that can access it with the stock dynamic mode selector knob that we have here in the center console. And for those of you guys who don't know, race mode will disable the traction control and stability control in the car while retaining ABS. So you're still safe, but it's going to get rid of all the other nannies that would otherwise hinder you having the most enjoyable and high performance driving experience. For everybody with the non-quadrifoglio Giulia, you have to go through a couple of steps to activate race mode, to include buying the quadrifoglio knob with the race option and swapping that, and then also buying the multi-ECU scan software, MES software, so that you can communicate with the car's computer and the transmission to activate race mode. But it's a pretty cool like Easter egg kind of thing that the engineers gave us regular folk that didn't spend $90,000 on the quadrifoglio versions of the Giulia and the Stelvio. It allows us, us regular folk to have just as much or about 90% of the fun as the quadrifoglio people. So, I've gotten asked, is it worth it? What do you have to do? Blah, blah, blah. It is a little bit of a detailed process. However, in this video, we're going to focus on how race mode feels and what it's like to drive race mode here on the back roads here in Central Texas, and my review of race mode and is it really worth it at the end of the day. For those of you who don't know, this kind of race mode hack, if you will, was discovered by Squadra Tuning. They're out of Holland. They're the same people that I tuned my car through. They offer the flash tune for all of the Giulia and Stelvio models and other Alfa Romeo models as well. They are kind of the golden standard for Alfa Romeo tuning. Because when I was on the track, when this car was stock, in dynamic mode, without race mode, it was fun, but it would pull power out of corners because it would sense that the rear was getting loose. And if you were too close to another car on track, it would automatically brake for you because, it has the automatic warning collision. So if you want to get rid of all of that and just keep the necessities, which I think is ABS, then you definitely need to install race mode. I know a couple of people have been able to defeat the ESC and the traction control with, disconnecting the battery or doing something else like that. That's not my cup of tea. I want to be able to do everything from the comfort of the driver's seat safely and reliably, and I want to be able to switch back to normal safe driving when I'm done at the track or having fun on a back road. And you can do that with race mode, so I definitely suggest that for all of you guys. There is one caveat. Race mode will lock the throttle pedal sensitivity into the in mode, so you lose kind of the hair trigger pedal feel that you used to get with dynamic. That I noticed it the first couple days, but after the first couple days, honestly, I didn't notice it anymore, and I could care less. The throttle pedal sensitivity has more to do with just being a gimmick than it does with the actual performance of the car. So losing that but gaining race mode is incredible. So overall, and the car is still amazingly quick. It's still a lot of fun, and it's still a blast to drive, and it's even more fun because the less sensitive throttle pedal will give you a better modulation. So let's go ahead and turn the car on, put her in race mode, and go down one of my favorite back roads here that I like to frequent. All right.
GPS connected.
Okay, got our radar hooked up, drive, and we are in race mode. And let's go ahead and do this thing. Let's make sure we're clear here. All right. none of them, none of them are fun. None of them are fun like this car. None of them bring you that. And that's why, I chose the Giulia over the competition. Because it's just such a better driver's car than any of those other cars. It's all about the driving experience. This cabin is world class and beautiful and focuses solely on the driver. It has just what you need, nothing else. And I love that. And that's why I recommend the TI Sports, because it comes with the sports seats, the paddle shifters, it gives you everything you need to have an absolute blast. Man, this is the funnest car I've ever been. You guys can go deeper into the videos and look at my last car, Focus ST, which was a wild build, and that was a very fun car. any sort of prolonged exposure to cold temperatures, you really need to consider these Kumo Extas. Anyway, y'all, so that was it. That's pretty much it for the Spirited Drive. About 20 minutes of fun there. 15-20 minutes of fun. I really like that little road here in Central Texas. But you know, I wanted to illustrate how much fun this car is, especially when you pair it with something like race mode. It just brings out the natural beast inside of the Giulia. I mean, this car is already a beast without race mode, but it just becomes